What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about your sales presentation. Let's get into it. Well, hello. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. I run a DJ company in Orlando, Florida called King Entertainment Events, www.djsorlando.com. And I also run a coaching business, www.coachscottking.com. And I teach the skills that I learned in NLP, hypnosis, and internet marketers in order to build my business to six figures and then have six-figure growth for a few consecutive years. And I also am going to be able to outgrow the numbers that I did last year. I don't know if it'll be six figures yet. It'll still be more than what I did the year before. With that in mind, let's talk a little bit about your sales presentation, because if you're getting leads that are coming in and you can't close them, then you're kind of just burning your money on your ad spend, right? So basically, when a lead calls, let's say it's a cold lead, nobody has no idea who you are, they barely connected your name to your service, and they give you a phone call, and the first question that they're going to ask is, how much are your prices? Now, before we get into that, let's just say somebody who's not getting married every week or having an event every week isn't educated enough to actually know the value of your service versus the prices that you get. So normally when I do a sales presentation, I leave the prices to the end so that I can demonstrate my value to the customers. So here's how to handle somebody who's just looking for price. Well, I know you have to sit down with three people and you're going to want to, compare prices and services. And I just want to make sure that you're not comparing apples to oranges, because not everybody in the business offers the same services. So with that in mind, can I ask you a question? And they'll say yes. Do you have an idea or a budget in mind of what you're willing to spend? Well, great. So if you have that in mind, and if I could get you close to it and be able to execute the services that you wanted, do you think I could get a signed contract today if we could come up to an agreement? And then you wait from there and to see if they say yes. And if they do, then you can continue. Now, I'm not a big fan of pressuring somebody to make a sale. I do know there's 4 different types of ways somebody will make a sale, and then actually scarcity is one of them. And you pretty much have to put scarcity onto a bid. You got to force somebody to make a decision, or they won't. Also, when you're first starting out, a great idea is to have a script. Now, I have a whole script for you to be able to practice and mimic the things that I put into play with the understandings of the abundance mindset and the understandings of the NLP and language patterns. And then once you get a script, it's more like learning that script. And then once you've had enough calls, then you could just naturally do it. It's kind of like anything else when you're learning. Now, when a baby's walking, they're going to have to fall a few times in order to be able to walk properly. And that's the kind of thing that I've had to learn as I learned and grow as well. I mean, you could go back and watch some of my older videos and see as I was learning language patterns and presenting in front of a camera that maybe it was a written script, and at the same time, I still put myself forward in order to get to the point that I'm at today. So just keep that in mind as you're learning and growing. And I do wish you guys all the best. And I honestly prefer somebody who's not good at sales to start with a script and then learn all the deeper meanings behind the words that are being spoken. Now, I definitely have a script, and that's something that you're interested in. Make sure to go to the website, join the Facebook group. And honestly, they're not educated enough to know anything about the services unless they've done a ton of research, and that's a corporate client, and that's a different ball of wax, right? So let's just talk about wedding sales at the moment. Well, the first thing you want to do is ask, hey, are you in need of entertainment? We're pretty entertaining. And that kind of gets a good laugh. And then after that, we can kind of like break the ice and go from there. Well, what's your name? And then they have to tell you your name, and you're giving, a command, and they're giving a response. So this is how you're building rapport on the ground level. So once you have a little bit of an interaction, then you can ask to see if you could go further. So, hey, look, I'd love to tell you more about my services. Do you have a minute of your time? And then, of course, if they say yes, that gives you the permission to move forward. So if they say, I'm just looking for prices, you could give it to them and then, end the phone call shortly. Most times, is that someone is going to buy in on your service, you want to be able to explain the value. So you basically explain what you do throughout the day and how you execute and show that you're the professional in the field. And you can also use a little line saying something like, well, you're not getting married every week, so let me break it down for you. There's a lot of confusion information out there, and I bet the information that I present to you will clear some things up. the things that I have in my company are educational based. So it's not confetti. Sometimes people will send out emails and it'll just be, oh, look at this great party that we did, which is great. That works out. You know, it keeps that frame of mind, but how educational is it? So when I'm doing a sales call, I explain, you know, what kind of gear we bring, why that's important, and how we stay on track because we do 290 events a year. So something that I love to do is show my screen, and then I can show them my DJ event planner and say, hey, look, I got 170 events on the books, and we're able to do that because of how well I'm organized. So that'll give the client the frame of reference that you're the professional and that they should probably listen to what you have to say since you have systems set in place and have done your homework. So if you're just starting out, you probably wouldn't be able to do that. And yet at the same time, you can ask them questions to show how professional that you are as you build your company. So you would just explain the services to the best of your ability and how your equipment executes, and you know what is your call time versus the start time. And as you go through this information, it's great to ask yes questions or enhancers along the way. Enhancers are great because you would say something like, well, you wouldn't want a bad DJ on your wedding day, right? Something like that, when you add the word right on the end. Or when you want to go with my services because I already got you on the phone, and why bother spending more time going with someone else when you know I'm the right guy for you, right? Or when you want to have somebody professional on your wedding day that actually cares about the success of your event, something like that. And then you would add the word right on the end of it, and then they would say yes. And the whole point of rapport is to get them to go like this the whole time that you're in a conversation. So once you get to the prices, it'll make more sense and line up better in the customer's mind to want to go ahead with your services. Now, where you set your price is kind of based on the market, based on your skill set, and also based on how well you are at presenting it. Somebody who's really good at presenting all the information can get a higher price because they have fully convinced the person on the other line that they're the one for the job, whereas somebody who's just starting out, you might want your price a little bit lower, and then as you learn and grow along the way, because you're going to need experience and proof that you can do the job. So these are some things to kind of keep in mind when you're on a sales call. And if you want to learn more, go to www.coachscottking.com, and I have a whole tutorial. We have a Facebook group, and I want to see you succeed. I have also a few other tricks as well. So I'll see you on the inside. Thanks.